Hello, everyone, and welcome to Goal Talk Tuesday. This is the Goal Sister presents Goal Talk Tuesday, and Goal Sisters Network is a community of diverse women who empower women to where empowered women, empower women to execute on their level, and we support each other financially, emotionally, any way that's needed. We show up for each other. And today on Gold Talk Tuesday, we're going to interview a very, very, very special woman that is part of the Gold Sisters Network. But first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Taj Shaw. I am your business strategist, productivity coach. I help small business owners go from overwhelmed from juggling multiple tasks to overjoyed by having the ability to scale their business by fixing their processes, their automation, their systems. So that is my main goal. And I'm also the founder of the Goal Sisters Network, where I'm connected to some very, very amazing women. And I thought it would be awesome to share it all with you guys. And so we started this series of Goal Talk Tuesday, where we talk to business professionals and business women about their journey and what they have going on. So I would like to introduce our guest for tonight, Gail Sanders.
Hello, everyone. So excited to be here. Thank you, Tosh, for inviting me.
You are so welcome, and thank you for actually deciding to be here so that we can interview and learn a little bit more about your business and understand how we can support you better. So let's first go off. Gail, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you serve?
Well, I am an old lady. No, I'm just kidding. But I have always loved real estate. I've worked in the medical field for many years and decided to pursue my real estate license because I always wanted to actually invest. Um, but found out later after getting my license, you don't necessarily need a license to invest in real estate. So that's how I initially got started. I've been in real estate since December of 2014 and have been loving it ever since. I do this full time. My business brand is ACES Realty Group, authentic, caring, exceptional service, meaning authentic. I'm going to be straight with you throughout your whole entire process. I care about the process. You may get some realtors won't even deal with you if you're not in a certain price point. I don't care. I just want to help you. And lastly, the exceptional service. When I go out and I'm going somewhere, or dealing with somebody, my expectation is to get exceptional service. So I want to be able to give to others when they're working with me. My goal ultimately is to empower women, especially, but anybody, but women especially, to explore options to be able to change their financial situation and create wealth and leave a legacy through real estate. And we'll find out more about that later on in the interview.
Awesome. That's really, really good. So can you tell us, Goal Sisters Network, we're all about goals here and executing on them. What were some of the foundational goals that you set to get you to this point in your career?
Funny question. So interesting enough, when I first thought about real estate, I was going through a situation in my life where I was trying to get out of it and get out of it fast, and I needed cash to do that. And I thought that, real estate was a way that I could make money fast. That's not the case. But I learned from that it wasn't something that would happen fast, but I also learned systems. I learned negotiation strategies. I learned about different personalities, and being able to put all of that together has helped me not just in my professional life, but also in my personal life, which of course makes me fall back on my faith. Like, I have to ask God how to do everything, when to do it, how to do it, all of that good stuff. So it really helped me to really increase my faith and my relationship with God. So that's the foundational of everything. So my clients get prayed over. The houses that they find or sell, they get prayed over. All of that. You get the whole 9 yards. And that's why I call myself the winning strategy to buying or selling or investing in real estate, because it's really not me. It's God that is the ultimate, that gives us the ultimate victory.
Yeah, that's good. That's really, really good that I'm glad that you're even that open to share, some professional people or business oriented people don't really talk about their faith or God so that they don't offend others. So it's really good that you're bold enough in your faith to let people know, to let us know I'm prayed over you and I'm praying over your house. And I'm the winning strategy because God's the winning strategy.
Yeah.
That is so, so accurate. There's so many times that God has showed up. And that's the one consistent goal out of all the goals that I've ever set, is to make sure that I stay rooted in God. Even when I veer off, that's the first thing I go back to. That's the first thing
Yes.
that I revisit. So it's so awesome for you to share that your foundational goal is staying rooted in faith with God.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. What would I do without him? That's a whole nother conversation, but what would I do without him? I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to use my hands. I wouldn't be able to think. I wouldn't be able to do anything without God, right?
That's true. That's true.
So who am I to not put him first?
All
Just my
right.
thought.
That's a different type of question. Like, who am I not to put him first? Or should I put him first? Catch on to the words, right? Catch on to the words.
Right.
So, what would you say your favorite part about working in real estate?
Oh wow. I low key like to fight.
So you say, well,
I low key like to fight, and I say that because negotiating is fun to me. It's like fighting without having to put boxing gloves on. So that's one of my favorite parts. The other big piece for me is um, I have the privilege to be able to sit at closing tables with individuals and families that didn't think that they could buy a home or even sell a home, right?
mhm,
And to be able to see the smiles on their faces, it just really warms my heart, and it does me some good and makes me want to do more for others as well. And then there's the all of my clients, all not there's not one that I can't think of that I haven't become like lifelong friends with. Maybe not close, but at least like I can call them up and be like, "Hey, what you doing?"
mm,
So the friendships that are created through the relationships of buying and selling homes.
that's
So,
good. So, so you hit two things I have some questions about in that answer that you just gave. So let me see. The first one is that, what's your favorite selling experience?
oh
Like,
gosh, Taj, why? um,
or
I
maybe the most memorable. It doesn't have to be favorite, but maybe the most memorable.
Well, all I remember all of my closings because there's something significant about every closing. For example, um, not saying any names, but one of my favorites, um, it made me think of a question, but one of my favorites is a single mother who brought her son to the closing table with her.
Mm.
And that was great. That was phenomenal. And that's you. So to pick before I go into the question that I want to ask you, I know this is supposed to be about me, but a question I want to ask you. We'll get back to it. But the other thing is, there was another situation where I had the opportunity and privilege of closing with one of my previous coworkers. She didn't think she could buy a house. She closed on her house. Well, let me go back. She didn't think that she could buy a house. We looked and we looked and we looked, and every time it was always multiple offers. And this particular house had multiple offers on it. And we, it was myself and another offer that were the top two out of everything. And so just negotiating, trying to win that deal for this particular client was amazing. And I won. To God be the glory, right? What's special about that is she was also in the process of adopting two twins. So that means they didn't have any stability in their life. So now their now adopted mom officially, as of just last month,
Oh wow.
just this month, officially just this month, on the 18th of this month, almost to the day. Um, but they closed on the house. So now the girls have stability. And that was just such a big deal for me. That was really memorable, right? And then there was another situation where a couple closed on their home, and the night before, um, the lender called them and told them that they needed to bring more money to the table. And I told them the night before, I said, they don't know what they're talking about. You're gonna end up getting some more money back at the table. We get to the closing table, and guess what they get? They get some money back at the table. To God be the glory. So when God is in your mix, it may look like you're not going to win, but the word says no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And so God shows up and shows out in my business all the time. So those are my top three, which brings me back to the question I wanted to ask you. I know this is about me, but I want to ask you, why do you think it was important to bring your son to your closing with you?
Um, Man, let's see. It was
Yeah, I threw you
important.
off guard. I'm sorry.
Right, you did, but no, it's a good question. For me, it was important because the whole reason why I was purchasing a home was for him. He wanted. We lived in the same townhome. Maybe let's see, we moved to Georgia, and he was a baby from 1 until 7 or 8. I think we
Mhm.
closed when he was 8. Um, let's see, 12, 9. So we lived in that same townhome, and so that's all he knew. But he didn't have a yard, right? He didn't have his basketball hoop that he wanted. He didn't have all these things, and we had really outgrew that home. And I wanted to move to another townhome, but just for it to be mine. I mean, the amount that I was paying was very, very high. But I wanted to take him along to the journey to show him what discipline looks like, because
Mm.
I'm a parent that I allow my son to question me. That's really not the norm, right? But I allow him to question so that he can get an understanding. So what I wanted to show to him is that when you work hard at whatever it is, you can achieve it. Like, you were my realtor that we found a place. It didn't appraise, right? I'm extremely picky. I realized that I got like champagne budget on beer champagne taste on a beer budget, right? So it just made me learn. It just showed me a different type of discipline that I wanted him to be a part of. And I wanted him to feel the excitement of it. So when it happens to him, it wouldn't be something new. It was new to me because out of my mother's kids, I was the first one to purchase a home. I mean, I'm the oldest. And maybe the second in my family to purchase a home. So it was really, really important for him to be a part of it, for him to understand the process, and also for him to value and see how important legacy was, something I could pass on to him. I mean, him sitting at a table with attorneys signing papers, trying to understand what those papers mean, and not, hey, we just got this pretty house. Like, no, mom bust her tail for this house. This is how much we have to pay for this house. This is what we got to do for the house. And so I always kind of raise him up to say, my job is to go to work and do these different things. Your job is to perform in school. And so bring him along that journey of seeing that whole process. He always performs at school, and I'm always going to work, and we got a roof over our head. So as long as we keep partnering together on this thing of life, we'll get right with it.
That's
Right. So
good. That's good. That's good. I just thought I'd throw that question in there because I thought about it.
true curveball. But let's see here. For somebody that's watching, what do you think is the biggest myth? Because I'm sure even myself, I thought that I wasn't even ready or prepared to buy a home. I mean, there's tons of programs out there that I learned about along the way, and I got a part of and met you as my realtor. But the biggest myth is that I had to have it all together. I had to have a salary, a specific salary in order to purchase a home. That was it for me anyway. What do you think is one of the biggest myths that you've heard about buying a home, and how do you help people overcome them so that they can actually purchase a home?
I think that is the myth. People think that they cannot afford a home. That truly is the myth, and it's really is not that anybody, everybody can afford purchase a home. It may not be purchasing it when you want to purchase it,
Mm.
but anybody can, going back to the word you just used, discipline themselves to get in a position to
Can
be
afford
able to um,
not be.
purchase a home. And that's the key right there, the discipline. As long, if you know that you want a home, then you also may need, I will just go ahead and say it, you need a realtor in place to be able to help you navigate. And sometimes you may even need an accountability partner to say, okay, you spending a whole lot of money on X, Y, and Z. Shouldn't you be saying X, Y? Shouldn't you be saving, or whatever the case may be? But that is the biggest myth, that people can't move. I can't buy a house. My credit is too bad. Well, there's something you can do about your credit. And I would caution people that if you're going to go to a credit specialist of some sort, make sure they're reputable. We do have people that, I have lenders that also have credit programs that they're solidified credit programs. Not these I'm going to pay to wipe off whatever. That's that's a little sketchy sometimes. So, um, having a credit person, a lender in place, and mostly a realtor that can lead you and guide you along the way. Um, I think one of the biggest, not just the myth, but one of the biggest mistakes that people make, before they're, in process of trying to buy a home, is trying to get their credit straight themselves. Again, before you do that, if not a realtor, talk to a lender before you do that, because sometimes what people too tend to do is, okay, this thing is on my credit. It's been on my credit for, let's say, 4 years. It's not quite fresh, but it's not old enough to completely go off the credit. But you haven't heard anything from anybody. Nobody's contacted you about this particular credit item, but you're deciding on your own that you're going to go and pay it off. Well, guess what you just did? You just refreshed it or revived it on your credit. So now it looks like it's brand new. And so then you start the process over again. So that's the biggest mistake that people tend to make before they get ready to purchase a home. But the biggest myth is that they can't purchase a home. Anybody and everybody can purchase a home. It's just a matter of disciplining yourself enough to position yourself in the right time to purchase a home, if that makes sense.
It does. It definitely does. You hit some really good points there, so that's good because there's tons of new credit repair companies out there, or people, acting as if they're companies and
Mhm.
doing things. So the lender part is very important and a reputable. I know there's some people that I follow on Facebook that are reputable. They have businesses, they're actually teaching people,
Right.
have results and testimonials of looking at those types of things. And I also say, don't sleep on those programs that help you with down payment assistance. Because, you may be, I'll just speak as a testimony, having a down payment assistance program. I'm in a new construction, never lived in before. I watched it build from the ground up. just by being in a down payment assistance program. Now, there are things in different programs of paying back and all that information that you should know up front before you make those decisions. But definitely, especially now in this times of a pandemic, you got 30, 20, 30,000 to drop. But I was paying in my apartment when I started paying for my mortgage. I mean,
yeah,
for a smaller
absolutely.
space, a 2-bedroom townhome, and now I have a bigger home with a yard and everything. So it's just a lot of perspective, and I think surrounding yourself with good friends, goal-driven people, probably even getting outside of your circle and meeting different type of people that can have those conversations that people hold within themselves. Like saying, hey, this is how I bought my home, or this is how I changed my mindset when it came to credit cards, or this is how, like a strategy that I used was to open up a new bank account, pay that bank account the max about a mortgage that I can have, so I can get in the habit of saying, what is my budget going to look like monthly? Like,
Right.
I learned that from somebody else. So had they not shared that knowledge for me, I would have never thought to let me prove to myself that I can afford
That's a good.
this house.
That's good. That is so good right there. And
Because
you positioned yourself. You disciplined and positioned yourself to be able to buy a home that you thought you could not do. And look
yeah,
at you now.
that taught me a whole different type of discipline. I just really, now we're talking about, since we're talking about goals and things, I just revisited that strategy from 4 years ago of, you have this other bank account, auto draft from your checking account, your direct deposit from your check, have X amount of dollars go to this account. So now every 2 weeks, my mortgage is being paid without me even thinking, blinking, looking at it. So when I open up my account, I minus whatever I put, a way that I don't have to stress or worry about a bad day or mismanagement of funds.
Exactly.
So I
Yep.
would say along the process, and get you a realtor that really truly cares. With choosing Gail as a realtor, she went above and beyond. We probably saw about 20 houses, no lie, because your girl is
I
picky.
don't think it was that many, but okay.
It was over 10, maybe under 20. Right. But I wanted a basement. My first home. I wanted all these boxes checked. I live in Georgia. How far away from the city am I trying to get? When I'm used to living near the city for 10 years. So I had to change some standards around. And when she said she's a fighter, when I tell you the day before I almost did not close, I woke up that next morning, went to close. Nobody even mentioned all the riffraff that was talked about the day before. I didn't hear it because I had a fighter on the back end. And we both have we're both faith based. So we're closing tomorrow at the scheduled time. We showed up and nobody blinked to talk about whatever they had yesterday. Got my keys and it was done. So she's a fighter. She's a fighter. If you're looking for a fighter, she is a fighter, and she's not going to let you purchase a home that doesn't settle right with her spirit. She's
That's
going
right. If I can't live in it, you can't live in it either.
right. And she may not be that blunt to say you can't, but she's going to give you some other options that's going to blow you out, blow your mind. It's like, why do I want that house versus this house? But let's see, what are the most important resources buyers or sellers should be using in this time? Like, are there any tips or tools you would give?
Um, I think it goes back to um, just using a knowledgeable realtor, a caring realtor, a realtor that is skilled at negotiating and will be your best advocate and your, you know, highest cheerleader, right? I think those are very important aspects. And even if you're not using me, of course, I want you to use me, come my way. But even if you're not using me, you want somebody to help you through this. This may be one of the biggest purchases you will ever make in your lifetime. You want somebody that's going to be in the trenches with you, no matter what comes up. You don't want somebody that's just going to give up easily. And I don't give up easily. And I don't like to lose.
See the face
So,
change. Did you have boom? See, that's what it sounds like.
so that's the biggest thing. And use your listening skills. So we run into a lot of realtors will tell you, and I say realtors generally, but people will tell you to do something. Take their advice. Make sure it's worth taking though. Like it's a knowledgeable, you don't just trust everything everybody says, but check it. Check and challenge it. And if you have the right realtor in place, you can, or, know somebody that knows another realtor or whatever the case may be, check and challenge what they're telling you, but also kind of listen to the market and what's going on as well. The other thing I think is, again, it goes back to knowing that realtor. How much information does your realtor know about the loan programs that are out there? What kind of lenders are they working with? What's available? What's available on the market? Like what's out there? What's going on in the market? It's important for a realtor to understand and know the market that's going on to be able to help you make an informed decision on how you need to move forward. And there's so many different programs, um, not just um, not just down payment assistance, but right now in the nature of the market that we're in the seller's market right now. And it's crazy out here, right? Truth be told, it's crazy out here and it's getting crazier and crazier by the minute, but it's going to shift at some point. So we're waiting on that shift to happen. So knowledgeable realtor to answer your question.
So hold your money. Hold your money in the shift, huh?
Not
Don't get this.
we'll talk about that. We can talk about that.
All right, so let's just start to something maybe a little fun and break up the realtor or real estate talk. Um, what would you say? What is a gem that you would drop for anybody that's watching? I know we cater towards women, but there could be some men that are watching. What's a gem that you would drop?
Mm. Ooh, godly, a gem that I would drop. If your spirit is telling you to do something, don't doubt yourself and go after it.
Mm, that's
Why
good.
do I say that? Because the entire time I was working in the medical field, I had gone to so many different real estate investing seminars, and they wanted you to pay tens and thousands of dollars to just real estate invest. And I talked myself out of getting a real estate license. Like, I can't sell houses. I can't do this. I can't do that. But the opportunity presented itself for me to just get my license, take the class and get my license. Oh, I'm just gonna take the class to see if I can pass it. I passed the class. Oh, I'll take the test just to see if I'm gonna pass it. I passed the test on the first try, which most people don't. So
Mm,
I'm saying all of that to say, don't doubt yourself. If God is, know that if you're feeling something in your heart and in your spirit to go after, it's the Holy Spirit telling you to move forward. Just check and challenge when the timing is and go after it. You never know what God is going to do in the midst.
that's
'Cause I
good.
love what I do. I love what I do. My only regret is not doing it sooner.
Mm, that's good. Sounds like purpose meeting passion.
Yep.
That's good. That
Yep.
is good. Okay, so I have a couple more questions and we'll wrap this thing up. Why do you feel like it's important to own real estate?
Ooh. Ooh. That's a good question. Um, so I'll answer that question with this story. And today is Tuesday. So this is very, very, very recent within the last, actually probably a couple hours today. So on Saturday, I wrote an this is kind of shares a little bit about what the market is like right now, right?
Mhm.
So I wrote an offer on Saturday. The house was listed at 225. Perfect. It was just really nice, right? And we did $10,000 above the list price, and we still got beat out by cash. I'm sure it was a cash investor, cash real estate investor. Um, the nature of this market is that these investors, let me back up. When the shift happens and all that has gone on with COVID, people are eventually going to get to a place where they can't either can't pay their mortgage and they're going to get foreclosed on, or the investors are looking for when that market shifts and that happens. What I would like to see is us, as primarily women, let me just be honest, I want us to be able to be on the other end. We be the ones that are buying those houses out for cash, and we be the landlord. So now people are paying us, and we're creating wealth and legacies for our own family. That's the nature of our market right now. Um, Going back to the story, I found out this morning, of course, that the offer was not accepted because somebody offered $250,000, $25,000 over the list price. But then I looked up the agent that now is under contract to buy that same house. I looked up his credentials, or whatever he's, has sold in the last, year, 2 years. Well, he's been buying houses all throughout Georgia for the last 24 months, and he's bought about 272 houses cash. That's the nature of this market. That's why you need a realtor that knows what's going on and how to combat it. And that's why it's important that we own real estate, because when like, for example, I own a townhome. I live in a townhouse. And if I decide to sell my house, one, I either have a lot of equity in it, or I can use it as an investment property. And that investment property can then become what's paying my mortgage on my new house. That's why it's important that we own real estate. That's the long short. That's the long of it, like in the long run. That's my opinion too. But that's the nature of what's going on. Why is it that, some of the most wealthiest people in the world are wealthy because of real estate? Why is it that I can't be too? Why is it that we as women, especially Black women, because you don't see that a lot, can't be the same way? I
That's
think
good.
that's important. I think it's important. The Bible tells us that we're supposed to leave an inheritance for our children's children. Well, guess what? How are we gonna do that if we live in paycheck to paycheck and we making somebody else rich?
That's
We're
true.
paying more for our rent than what we could be paying for on our own home.
That is true. That is true.
You asked the question, I just answered
Thank you for giving your opinion. Right? Thank you. Because there's renters that rent for a specific reason, and you're in real estate, and you gave your specific opinion why real estate is important and why you think people should have it. I agree with the legacy part. I want Amir, when he gets of age, he has a home to come to.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I decide to go off and buy another house, or sell this house and buy another house, keep this house, he will always have something and not feel like he needs to go and get an apartment, or
Right.
teach him to buy. I have this big goal of purchasing property for rental, but buy something for himself so that he can be in college in a condo that he owns versus
Right.
paying dorm
Absolutely.
fees. Right?
Absolutely. And I'm not saying anything against renting. Don't get me wrong. I just think, there's a time and a place for that. I had to rent before I got my own house.
That's
And
true.
it got to a point where I was living in a high end area, and my rent was, I mean, I pay a whole lot less for a whole lot more space
Yeah.
than what I was renting.
I know exactly what you're saying about renting because if I can be in the same townhome for 7, 8 years and they just give me some vinyl floors, take up the carpet, and they increase double
Hmm.
my rent for the same walls, for the same dips in the floor, for the same everything. That's when I was
Hmm.
like, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Maybe if I was single without a kid, I probably would be doing something different. But
Yeah. But
stability,
there's a season, there's a time for, to make a transition and change. So change your mindset. Get your own. The
perspective.
other thing is too, when you own, like I get to paint my walls whatever color I want. I get to put whatever floors in here I want. I get to make my kitchen the way I want to make it. It's yours. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Not when you're renting, you can't.
Well, or you sneak and do. We ain't talking about them things you sneak and do. But no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up. It's an honor to have you on here talking about what you do. So the last question I have is, how can we support you?
How can you support me? The biggest thing you can do is send people my way. Even if it's just, even if they don't, can't buy right now or whatever, think they can't buy right now, let me be your accountability partner. Let me lead you and guide you along the way. Allow me the opportunity to talk to you about some of the things that are out there, the programs that are out there and offered, and get you connected with some people that can get you on the right path. So connect with me. I'm on Instagram at Realtor Gail Sales, or um, all my information is in my profile there. So if you're not on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook or DM me on Facebook at Gail Sanders Realty One Group Edge. That's my business page. So that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gail, for letting us know a little bit about you and what you do in
Thank
real estate. I
you.
hope that someone got some great information from this, at least got the courage to try to connect with a realtor to get you started on your path. Like Gail said, she is an accountability partner and she definitely will hold you accountable. I got into any type of program. Actually, before I found her, just connected with her, she put me in contact with the lender that ran my credit, that said, okay, if you do this, and this, that'll get you to this score, and this looks at this percentage, that you could be paying for your mortgage. It's very helpful to be in the know. And I think sometimes fear paralyzes us because we're like, not living check to check or not making under this amount of money a year, but it's really with the discipline and how you use your money. So I've started even praying to God to give me more money, but to more give me more discipline with the resources that I have. And having
That's
an
it.
accountability partner will definitely help you get that more discipline. Because
Yes.
don't call Gail if you're out in the store and you're trying to save. She will really get on you.
Don't
But
be putting me out there like that. But I will.
or don't be, look, or don't be in Zaxby's driveway talking about you trying to lose some weight and ordering 3 chocolate chip cookies. She will really get on you. So get you a realtor. Gail is an excellent realtor in the Georgia area that you can connect with if to start your real estate journey, knowing where you are, be in the know, see what opportunities are available. It's a tough market, but what God has for you is for you. And
That's
thanks for
right.
tuning in to Gold Talk Tuesday with Gail Sanders, the
Thank you all.
real estate ace. She is all of it. And please stay connected with us in the Gold Sisters Network Facebook group. On Sunday, we have Let's Pray Sis, where we pray briefly for about 15 minutes. We do a devotional to pray for the week to come. Also, today is Tuesday. So on Thursday, we have Think About It Thursday. Put some respect on my journey, where
Yes.
Gail and I are going to be having a candid conversation about what that means to us. And then next Tuesday, we'll have another another business owner, Marita Sneed. For at 7:30, we'll have talk about goal talks and being a boutique owner. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have an awesome and blessed day. Have a great night, actually. God bless.
Thank you.
Thank
Bless
you.
you.